Good morning, dear students. Today we are going to discuss about antibodies. Antibodies are also known as immunoglobulins. Antibodies are also known as immunoglobulins, which is termed as IZ. These antibodies are produced in the body in response to the entry of the antigen. Means when antigen enters into the body, the antibodies are produced in response to that particular antigen. So it is known to cause adaptive immune response, as well as it will be showing humoral immunity. Means the production of antibodies against antigen is humoral immunity. Means these antibodies can be produced in vitro or in vivo. So these can produce adaptive immune response. Okay, so these once antibodies are produced in the body, these are ready to react with the antigen and produces immune responses. Okay, coming to the structure of the antibodies. Antibodies will be having 4 polypeptide chains. Antibodies will be having 4 polypeptide chains. In that, 2 light chains and 2 heavy chains are present. These polypeptide chains will be having sequence, means as they are protein in nature, this will be having protein sequence. These light chains and heavy chains are come together and bonded with each other with the help of disulfide bonds, which are a type of covalent bond and which is very strong in nature. Okay, so these 2 light chains and heavy chains are joined with the help of disulfide bonds. So the structure looks like this. This is a heavy chain, this is a heavy chain, and these are light chains. Okay, and the heavy chains are bonded with each other with the help of disulfide bonds. Okay, and light chain and heavy chain also combined or joined together with the help of disulfide bonds. Okay. So this is a light chain and this is a heavy chain. So 2 heavy chains, 1 and 2, and 2 light chains, 1 and 2. Okay, this is a N-terminal N. So here NH2 will be present. This is a N-terminal N. Amino group is present at this end, and this is a C-terminal N. COO minus is present at this end. Okay, so this is said to be a C-terminal end, and this is said to be an N-terminal end. Okay, so coming to the detailed structure of light chains. Light chains will be having a molecular weight of 23,000 and it will be having around 200 amino acid residues. It will be having 200 amino acid residues. This is a light chain. This is common to all immunoglobulins. This light chain is common to all immunoglobulins. It has 2 types of light chains. There are mostly 2 types of light chains. One is kappa and the other one is lambda. Kappa and lambda is in the ratio of 2:1 in the immunoglobulins. In all the immunoglobulins, these light chains are common and it is available in 2 types, kappa form and lambda form. Okay, this kappa and lambda will be in the ratio of 2:1. Heavy chains will be having the molecular weight of around 50,000 to 75,000, means double that of the light chains. And the amino acid sequence of heavy chains is also double that of light chains, means here the light chains will be having only 200 amino acid residues, but the heavy chains will be having 400 amino acid residues, and the molecular weight is also, it will be having more in weight, 50,000 to 75,000 daltons. This heavy chains is not common to all immunoglobulins. This shows different types, means it will be having different types based on the carboxy terminal position. Based on the carboxy terminal position, it will be having different isotopes. and these isotopes are mostly gamma type, alpha type, mu type, delta type and epsilon type. Based on these isotopes, the immunoglobulins are divided into 5 types: IgZ, IgA, IgM, IgD and IgE. If it is having a gamma heavy chain, it will be showing as a IgZ. If it will be having alpha heavy chain, it is showing that it is immunoglobulin A. If it is having mu, IgM. If it is having delta, IgD. If it is having epsilon, it is said to be a IgE type of immunoglobulin. Regions are the parts of light chain and heavy chain. Light chain and heavy chain both are divided into 2 segments like variable and constant. Okay, variable region and constant region. If we see this variable region and constant region, this is a heavy chain and these are light chain. So at this point you can see the light chain and heavy chain will be divided into 2 fragments, 1 and 2, 1 and 2. This is for heavy chain and this is for light chain. So this part where it is towards the N terminal end, we call that parts as variable region. Okay, and as it is a heavy chain, we call this region as VH. As it is a light chain, we call this region as VL. Okay, and the remaining part is constant region. The remaining part which is present towards the C terminal end is constant region. As it is having COO minus at this end, we call this as C terminal end, and this constant region is again divided into 3 types in heavy chain. Okay, CH1, CH2, CH3. Here CH2. Okay, so CH1, CH2 and CH3. In some cases this is divided into 4 parts. Okay, I will tell you where it is. So this variable region, first we will see about variable region. This variable region will be also having variable light chain region, variable heavy chain region. In this part of variable region, there is a variations in the amino acid sequence from one immunoglobulin to the other immunoglobulin. So these regions are said to be here from till here, here to here, and here to here, and here to here. These are the variable regions. At these regions, there is a high variance in the amino acid sequence. So this region we'll call it as a hypervariable region, also called as hotspot, where antigen comes and bind to this part. Antigen comes and bind to this part, this variable region. So coming to the constant region. Constant region will be having around 107 amino acids out of 214 amino acids. Means if the total immunoglobulin has 214 amino acids, out of which 107 amino acids is of having a constant region. Constant region will be having 107 amino acids. This will not show any variability in the amino acid sequence. There is a constant show in the amino acid sequence. So this is represented as CH and CL. CH for heavy chain and CL for light chain. CL for light chain and CH for heavy chain. Okay, so this constant region is present towards the C terminal end. Domains. Next one is domains. Domains, immunoglobulins has a series of domains. Means each domain will be consisting of 110 amino acids. and these domains, a series of domains are connected with each other with the help of a disulfide bonds. These are connected with the help of disulfide bonds, and these domains are forming a peptide loops between them. The peptide loops is around 60 to 70 amino acids. So if we see the domains here, heavy chain will be having 4 to 5 domains like gamma, alpha, delta will be having 4 domains, that is 1 variable and 3 constant regions. Here I have shown you that the example for gamma, alpha and delta means it will be having 1 variable region and 1, 2, 3 constant regions. Okay, so here you can see 4 domains, 1 variable and 3 constants. But mu and epsilon heavy chains will be having 5 domains, means it will be having 1 variable region, but it will be showing 1, 2, 3 and 4 constant regions it will be having. So we are talking about heavy chains. So heavy chains will be having either 4 or 5 domains, means 1 variable or 3 constant regions, or 1 variable or 4 constant regions. Coming to the heavy chains will be having only 2 domains, that is here you can see only 2 domains, you can see 1 variable and 1 constant. Here also 1 variable and 1 constant. Okay, so these are domains. Coming to the fragments, if we see, fragments are done with the help of a proteolytic enzymes. These proteolytic enzymes splits immunoglobulins into fragments. These proteolytic enzymes, example we can say papain and pepsin. These two can make the immunoglobulin into fragments. Papain will be making 3 fragments, whereas pepsin will be forming only 2 fragments. Papain cuts the immunoglobulin at hinge region. Here if you see, this part is said to be as a hinge region. The connection between CH1 and CH2. The connection between CH1 and CH2 is a hinge region. So at this region, the papain will be digesting the immunoglobulin into 3 fragments. If it is digesting here, 1 fragment is this one, and 1 fragment is this one, and 1 fragment is this one. So 1, 2, 3 fragments are produced when papain digests the immunoglobulin. So these 3 fragments are said to be a 2 Fab regions and 1 FC region. So here 2 Fab regions are, these are said to be a Fab regions, and this is said to be an FC region. Fab regions, why we call these as Fab regions? Here the antigen can bind at these portions. Okay, fragment antigen binding, FAB, fragment antigen binding regions. So 2 Fab regions and 1 FC region will be coming when papain digests the immunoglobulin. FC in the sense fragment crystallizable end. Okay, here this is present at the C terminal, and here this can be precipitated, but this cannot be precipitated. This is only meant for antigen binding, and this is meant for precipitation. Coming to the pepsin, pepsin breaks the immunoglobulin into 2 parts. It breaks into large FC fragment and FAB2 fragment. Means if this is the immunoglobulin, here it will break it. Here it will break it as it will be having some disulfide bond. These 2 parts will be attached to each other. It will be forming 2 fragments. This is 1 fragment and this is 1 fragment. Okay, so large FC fragment, and FAB2, we write it as FAB2 antigen binding 2 fragment. So in this you can see 2 antigen binding sites are present. Okay, in this 2 antigen binding sites are present, whereas if we see in papain digestion, these two parts are also separated. So only antigen binding sites, only one antigen binding site is present per fragment. Okay, coming to the Hinge region. I have already told you this is the Hinge region, which is the connection between the portion between CH1 and CH2. This is a CH1 and this is a CH2. So this will be forming interchain disulfide bonds. In this, you can see the interchain disulfide bonds are present. It prevents the Fab fragment. It prevents this immunoglobulin to fold. Okay, means the folding is prevented with the help of this disulfide bonds which are present in the Hinge region. Okay, so that is about Hinge region, and it is flexible to catch the antigen and fight with it. Next one is S value. S value is nothing but it determines the sedimentation coefficient of immunoglobulins. This value ranges from 7S to 19S. So this is about various terms involved in the structure of immunoglobulin. In the next class, we are going to study about the types of immunoglobulin.